to another episode of Astro Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Today, we got a 2008 Toyota Solara. What we're going to do is show you how to do the front and rear brakes. Now, as you can see, we got the car jacked up on one side. We're ready to go ahead and put them brakes on. But you only need to see one side, front and back, because you know, both sides are the same. So what we're going to do, let us finish up this side, and then when we come back, we're going to show you step by step how to jack the vehicle up and push back the pistons and everything and get this side done right here. Alright? We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Okay, first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you a quick way of doing this instead of jacking up one wheel at a time. Or if you sometimes it's difficult to put the jack in the center of a vehicle and jack up both front wheels or both back wheels at the same time. What we're gonna do is put this right down here. And we got here a hydraulic jack. This is a low profile from Harbor Freight. It's pretty old, as you can tell, but yeah, I love it because a lot of cars are lower, so it gets right up under there. Now what we want to do is, see this metal frame right here on the car? And you notice right here is the little stops. So that means there's a double metal right here. So that's my jacking point for this car. And what I want to do is jack it up right about midpoint of this, because what I'm going to do here is jack it up right there. And what we're going to do is jack it up, and we're going to pick up both front and rear wheel at the same time. Now you see the front wheel is off the ground. Now we go back here, keep going. Back wheel's off the ground. See that? We're going to do both wheels at the same time. Next thing what I want you to do is, before we take the wheels off, come around here, take off the cap to the master cylinder and just lay it to the side. The reason for doing that is when we go to push back the calipers, the pistons on the calipers, you don't want to mess up that master or anything, you know, blow the seal, because sometimes these masters are made with one-way seals. So we do that to relieve the pressure. All right, let's get these wheels off, and then we're gonna come back. We'll show you a quick and easy way of doing these brakes. We'll be right back. Okay, here we are on the right rear. Now, I'll show you a quick way of doing this. What you're gonna need is a 14mm shallow socket with a ratchet. Yeah, as long as it don't come off like that. Now, quick way of doing this. Usually, you're gonna see a lot of people unbolt the caliper, use a C-clamp, push it back. No good. That's the old way. The new way is take yourself a flat screwdriver, and what you're going to do is use the screwdriver to pry between the rotor and the caliper. Find you a point. See how that pushes back like that? And you keep doing that until it stops. Okay, I'm going to show you in a minute what you just did. Once it stops, take your 14mm, the bottom one, only the bottom one, what you're going to do. Take the bottom bolt out, 14mm, and that 14mm is going to be for front and back. Take it out, you want to swing it up. Now, what you just did, well, see, there's a piston right here. And this piston, when you step on the brakes, brake fluid goes through the lines and it pushes this piston out and it squeezes the brake pads together against the rotor. So what you just did was just take your screwdriver and you pry between there and there. See, and the caliper will slide. And you just push that piston back. Now you could have put it over here, under here, anywhere where it's comfortable you can get that at. If you can't get to that, take off the 2 bolts, or 1 bolt, just like I did, pop it up, take one of the old brake pads, put it right there, a C-clamp, until you push that piston back till it's flush. And actually, I just pushed it back by hand some too. Make sure you got a good look at this. Okay, let's back this up a little bit. All right. The brake pads just wiggle out. They slide right out. You can see how low those brake pads are. Let's go get the new ones. Okay, here we go. We got the new brake pads. Now you notice one of them has this little metal piece right here. That's a wear sensor, which means the wear sensor will hit this rotor before you grind it out and mess up the brakes, mess up the rotors. So notice how one has it and one don't. The one we took off don't have it. So we're gonna put that one up right there. You see little sliders right here. We'll push down little clips, push them in place. Slide right into place. Same thing with the other side. And there you go. There's that wear sensor right there. So the wear sensor is gonna go there. Now usually if you don't have wear sensors on the original ones, what you do is hold the brake pad like this, whether front or back. Like a little, now see that one like a happy face, I call it. Sad face. Put the sad face down. Whatever side that's on, that's the side it goes on. So see, it's down, it's on the right side. I know I'm on the right rear. Okay, let's get this one down in there. It's in. Bring one. And there's a little rubber boot right here. Just make sure that rubber boot's out of the way. Put that right there. Put the bolt back in. Tighten it up. Done. Just that easy. A lot of times you're getting charged $300-400 for some rear brakes, and that's all it is. They say, well, we got to cut the rotors and all this. That's bull. If you're stepping on the brakes and your brakes aren't shaking, you don't need to do anything to that rotor. And sometimes rotors are so cheap that if it is shaking, instead of going down there, getting it cut, waiting for hours and hours and hours, get you a set of rotors and throw them on there. All right, that's the fronts. All done. Actually, since that's done, and remember the other side is the same thing. So get this, tie it back up here. Get the lugs on. This one has a locking lug, so nobody will steal your rims. Alright, we're going to tighten that up, and then I'm going to meet you for the fronts. Be right back. Okay, got it set up here. Same principle. Find yourself, now remember that master cylinder, the cap's got to be off. Find your point where you can pry this back. You see that caliper sliding on the sliders. Make sure to go back till it stops. Good. Bottom bolt. See, it makes it look easy, don't it? Because it is easy. Swing that caliper up in the air. Now this one like it can go back a little bit more. So what I might do is just put you back down if I can't. Since you're gonna use a screwdriver, you gotta make sure, yeah. Make sure that caliper is all the way back. Just make sure I don't miss. Let's see here. Let's put that bolt in just a little bit. Okay. There we go. Let's get that out. Hold it up. Let's get the new brakes on this one. Okay, let's start with the outside one. Pop that out. Wow, look at that. That thing was grinding down like you wouldn't believe. Now you notice this little, let me see if you can see it, a little piece right there. That's actually the wear sensors on these. These are worn down. So really, you have to put those back in because that's no good. If that brake pad would have came out there really like tough, I'd have put some anti-seize. Sometimes it's good to do it anyway. Ooh, anti-seize on the top and the bottom so the brake pad will slide better. Okay, that's a new brake pad. Now notice the wear sensor on these is on those brakes, not the new ones. So these can go either way, inboard or outboard. Pop in, let's pop that other one out. Wear sensor was touching, the thing was grinding actually. But just again, like I said before, if the car's not shaking, you can just put the brake pads on. These are kind of scorn. They should be cut, but it's still good. You know, we're gonna wait here all day for somebody to cut your rotors. Okay, let's get this other one in there. In, both of them in. So now we just slide that back in. Put that bottom bolt back in. Tighten it back up. Got this. Okay. And we're gonna put that tire on. All right. Let's get that tire on over here. Okay, let's tighten these up. Okay, now what we're going to do next, put the brake cap back on, pump the brake pedal up a few times to get that before you start the car and take off. You got to put that brake, the cap to the master cylinder back on, pump the brakes up a few times before you start the car. Test drive the car, make sure everything's good, and it should be all right. All right, let's get that done, and we'll be right back. Okay, there you have it. That's how you do front and rear brakes on the 2008 Toyota Solara. As I said, stop getting ripped off by all these people who want to charge you. I mean, I've seen people get charged like $600. That's for some front brakes, just to do what we just did. All right, so This should save you a lot of money. And also, oh yeah, one thing I did remember, I forgot to tell you, when you get brake pads, make sure they have a little metal shim on the back. That's a silencer shim. Without it, your brakes could squeal, even though they're brand new. This is Timmy from Astral Auto Repairs. If we can't repair it, as you can see, nobody can. Take it easy.